data crunch when China released its economic data for July, including industrial production, retail sales, trade and foreign investment. The People's Bank of China cut rates for the second time in 3 months to boost liquidity. Medium-term lending facility rate is lowered by 15 basis points. China's newly issued regulations on the artificial intelligence industry came into effect this week. We check out how they promote the application of generative AI while mitigating risks. Good evening from Beijing and welcome to this edition of Global Business on CGTN. I'm Lily Lu. Chinese President Xi Jinping has urged the whole society to vigorously promote and practice the concept that lucid waters and lush mountains are invaluable assets. He made the remarks as the country celebrates its first National Ecology Day. President Xi highlighted that ecological conservation is of vital importance to the nation, calling it a major political issue bearing on the mission of the CPC, as well as a major social issue that bears upon public well-being. Xi Jinping said that in building a modern socialist country in all respects, efforts should be made to maintain strategic resolve in advancing the ecological progress and promoting high-quality development, in sync with high-standard protection. President Xi's instructions were outlined by Vice Premier Ding Xuexiang at an event marking China's National Ecology Day held in Huzhou City, Zhejiang Province. CGTN's Gao Wang has more.
Under the theme of lucid waters and lush mountains are invaluable assets, China's first National Ecology Day unfolded in East China's Zhejiang Province. At the opening ceremony, Chinese Vice Premier Ding Xuexiang read important instructions from Chinese President Xi Jinping. President Xi urged the whole society to promote and act as role models in practicing the concept that lucid waters and lush mountains are invaluable assets. The instructions also call for the simultaneous promotion of high-quality development and high-level protection, the green and low-carbon transformation of production methods and lifestyles, and the advancement of modernization featuring human-nature harmonious coexistence. Officials from the National Development and Reform Commission and other ministries also elaborated on the important achievements in the construction of ecological civilization, as well as efforts to achieve carbon neutrality. Officials say China's first National Ecology Day aims to enhance public awareness and actions to protect the ecological environment while promoting low-carbon development and green transition. Gao Wang, CGTN, Huzhou, Zhejiang Province.
Let's now take a look at some official economic data out of China. Well, these figures announced today showed that China's economic recovery maintained steadfast in the month of July, marked by growth in the services sector and market sales. Zheng Chunying has more.
In July, China's index of services production increased by 5.7% year-on-year as the sector continued to recover.
In July, the national economy continued to recover. The production and demand were basically stable. The service sector maintained fast growth, with modern service industries demonstrating sound momentum of growth.
And the total value added of industrial enterprises in July above a designated size grew by 3.7% year-on-year. Meanwhile, raw material manufacturing also picked up by 8.8% year-on-year. That's 2 percentage points faster than the previous month. During the briefing, officials also spoke highly of the progress made in the country's industrial upgrading.
Investment in high-tech industries grew rapidly. From January to July, investment in high-tech industries increased by 11.5% year-on-year, significantly faster than the growth rate of total investment. Among them, investment in the electronics and communication equipment manufacturing industry and the transformation of scientific and technological achievements into service industries maintained rapid growth.
Officials also pointed out the total value of imports and exports of goods witnessed a decline of 8.3% year-on-year, while trade structure continued to optimize. And employment was generally stable, with the urban surveyed unemployment rate holding steady in July.
Officials say China's economy is still facing challenges such as insufficient demand and complicated international political and economic situation. But they're still confident that these will be addressed through deepening reform and opening up, promoting innovation, and pursuing high-quality development. Zheng Chunying, CGTN, Beijing.
And now for more discussions on China's economic data from July, let's bring in Mr. Chu Qian, who is a research fellow of the Beijing Foreign Studies University. Mr. Chu, great to have you on the show with us. So my first question is, I would like to get your view or your interpretation of the economic indicators for the month of July.
Well, we have actually a very complicated situation ahead of us. It's been in a shifting gear period of time. On one hand, you can see domestic, service sectors are recovering really fast. You go to the hotels, you go to the tourism resort, everywhere are all of people. And also, if you take a look at the high tech and also the electronics and the mechanics sectors, you find out their production investment and exports are going up very, very quickly. But on the other hand, you'll be seeing the general export and import in China has been dropping. But if you take a look at the bigger picture, India dropping like 15%, Indonesia dropping like 14%, China together is dropping like 10%, and also Singapore even is dropping like 7%. So it shows that the whole world has been struggling in the recovering after the COVID, and the total demand because of strong US dollar has been shrinking globally. And meanwhile, I've been seeing, even though our high-end technology has been growing, but also our real estate market has been recovering really, sluggishly. So it affected people's, expectation in the consumption and also in the investment. So this can be something we need to, address. So all in all, we are in a complicated international atmosphere, and also we need to still repair people's expectation domestically.
All right, great insights there. And also please stay with us, Mr. Chu, for more discussions later on in the program. Let's now first take a look at China's monetary policy. China's central bank on Tuesday reduced key policy rates to uphold a reasonable and ample liquidity level within the banking system. The central bank infused 401 billion yuan into the market through one-year medium-term lending facility loans, or the MLF, carrying an interest rate of 2.5%. Now that marks a decrease from a previous 2.65%. The central bank executed 7-day reverse repurchase agreements totaling 204 billion yuan with an interest rate of 1.8%, that is down from a 1.9%. And additionally, the bank lowered the interest rates on its standing lending facility. The overnight rate, that's 7-day, and the 1-month rates were each cut by 10 basis points. So, Mr. Chu, what potential outcomes can be attributed to those rate decisions? And do you think there is possibility for additional rate cuts in the near future?
Oh, yes, absolutely. I think, first of all, the rate cut can absolutely help the real estate market to repair its expectation. And by releasing 400 billion yuan into the market, they can really save the home buyers a lot of money in total. In the future, I think, according to the international economic atmosphere, I think there can be still the possibility, because in America, we've been seeing by the end of this year or early next year, Federal Reserve probably going to stop their interest rate hike, or return to the normal monetary policy. And by that time, Central Bank of China will have less pressure internationally, so they can have more leeway to further lower the interest rate, since Chinese monetary interest rate is still one of the highest among the world, so which gives Chinese central bank some leeway to still reduce the rate. But in the future, I think the government should do more to stabilize the expectation, because if people are expecting the government can further lower the rate, so they're probably going to delay their purchasing behavior, because they're expecting lower and a cheaper rate, so they can probably see, okay, maybe I should wait until it gets cheaper.
So there is expectation there. And also additionally, how do you think the central bank can intend to maintain, let's say, a generally stable RMB exchange rate, because that's under a lot of pressure now, while simultaneously providing support to economic activities?
Oh, yes. I don't think we will have some problems in the stability in the exchange rate, because Central Bank of China is really have some experts. They're really, expert in maintaining stability in this area, because we have counter-cyclical factors, we have many other tools to make sure that happens. But in order to also make sure, on one hand, you get stable exchange rate, but also you want to stimulate, domestic economy, there can be some, art that you have to do. So my suggestion is that for the Central Bank of China, it should provide more support to the central government of China and local government to give them more conditions to borrow and expand their deficit temporarily, to overcome the current situation, which means the government borrows money and put cash and coupons and support into people's hands to restore people's expectation and purchasing power for now. And then when the expectation returns, when people's liquidity has returned, and then we can step by step quit out this monetary policy and return to the normal monetary policy.
Sounds very skillfully managed. Thank you very much, Mr. Chu. As you mentioned earlier, touched upon how the rate decisions are getting the property market prepared. We are gonna move on to China's property sector. Let's first of all take a look at this. Various regions in China are reportedly considering revisions to their stringent property market regulations. One move follows a recent central leadership meeting that emphasized the need for a nuanced adjustment and optimization of real estate policies using targeted policy tools. Several Chinese cities, including Fuzhou and Xiamen in southeast, Chengdu in southwest, and Shenyang in northeast, are planning to modify their existing restrictive home purchase policies. And according to media reports, these cities will lower down payment requirements to 20% for first home buyers and 30% for those purchasing a second home. Well, Mr. Chu, let me bring you back. Local authorities are, reducing home mortgage rates, particularly aimed at assisting first home buyers. Do you think that this strategy can effectively stimulate a positive shift in the property market?
Oh yes, I do think so. Because counter-cyclical management is really a common practice in a lot of countries. For example, in Singapore and in South Korea, and also in Hong Kong region. We all have that kind of situation. When the house prices rise up too quickly, they have more than 30% of extra tax hold on the property. But when we are facing the difficulties, they will reduce or remove that kind of policies and restore the balance in the property market. That can be really helpful for sure, because according to the experience in America and Singapore, it does work. But also, remember that people are buying a house not only because the houses are getting cheaper or they can spend less money on it, but more because they will have a stable expectations on their own income cash flow. So more importantly, we should consider how we can restore the job market. We can restore people's expectation on consumption. We can put back the liquidity and the cash flow into people's hands. And with rebuild of this expectation, I think the recovery of the property market can be just a question of time.
Well, indeed, confidence is more precious than gold. That's what we always say. Thank you so much. That's Mr. Chu Qian from the Beijing Foreign Studies University for us. And this summer, the Chinese film market is experiencing a remarkable surge. The market share of China-made films is outpacing that of Hollywood movies that are being showed in China. And this is also triggering extensive discussions on social media platforms. Our correspondent Olivia He brings us more on this.
The Chinese film market has been witnessing a robust surge during the summer. Homegrown films are sparking vibrant conversations on social media, and the summer box office is achieving unprecedented success. The cumulative box office earnings for the season have crossed the 15 billion yuan mark, engaging a nationwide audience of over 370 million viewers.
While viewing the film Chang'an, I was amazed to witness a group of young audience members in the cinema reciting Tang poems.
Upon viewing the film Creation of the Gods, I felt compelled to promptly research and delve into the history of the Shang dynasty.
I've come to see No More Belts since it's garnered significant attention on social media. I have a sense that if I miss out on watching it, I might feel left behind.
Instances like these have become a frequent occurrence at this year's summer box office. Data from Maoyan Professional Edition reveals that 116 films made their debut during the summer box office period this year. Some viewers are pointing out that this summer, the significance of film ratings appears to have diminished. What truly matters is the influence of the subjects these films bring forth, ushering Chinese cinema into a phase of strong topics, strong direction.
In major cinemas in Beijing, I observed a noticeable prevalence of posters and film screenings for Chinese films in comparison to Hollywood movies. It's also noteworthy that despite the release of blockbuster hits such as Mission Impossible 7, Transformers and Spider-Man, domestic films still managed to secure a significant market share of 83.48%.
This summer, the caliber of domestic films is exceptionally impressive. I found myself watching some of them 2 or 3 times, yet I still can't get enough.
Additionally, a lineup of outstanding domestic films is set for consecutive releases. Those within the industry are forecasting that the momentum of the film market's revival in 2023 will persist into August, potentially surpassing the highest box office achievement of the summer season in 2019. Olivia He, CGTN, Beijing.
You're watching Global Business on CGTN. Still to come on the program, China's newly issued regulations on the artificial intelligence industry came into effect on Tuesday. We check out how they promote the application of generative AI while mitigating risks.
Climate change, economic uncertainty, and food insecurity. As the world faces multiple challenges, heads of state of BRICS nations and 55 African countries meet in South Africa with a common goal to promote multilateralism and sustainable development. CGTN will bring you in-depth reports and comprehensive analysis on one of the largest gatherings of developing countries. BRICS Summit 2023. Building an inclusive world.
Welcome back. China's first set of rules on generative AI has come into effect today. The interim regulation issued by the Cyberspace Administration and another 6 government bodies requires that all generative AI platforms must adopt legal algorithm and also cite data from legal sources. Under this regulation, AI companies also have to clarify recommended age groups for every service that they put out to protect underage users. Besides risk control, the regulation is expected to provide more opportunities for domestic software manufacturers. And our reporter Yu Li spoke to Zhou Hongyi, CEO of Beijing-based internet security software provider and search company 360 Security Technology, for his insights on the AI regulation.
What's your view on the interim regulation on the management of generative AI services? And how will the digital security industry help regulate AI?
我相信里面也有我们意见的反馈。
As both a cybersecurity company and an internet company specializing in generative AI, we took part in surveys and gave our thoughts during the consultation phase of this measure. In my opinion, this rule comes at just the right time and makes a lot of sense. Many countries around the world, including the United States, are talking about how to make sure artificial intelligence is a useful tool for people and doesn't cause problems. This is especially important for AI models, like the generative kind we work on, because they come with their own set of risks. For example, we worry about the content they create. They might make stuff up or create content that breaks the law or goes against ethical standards. Also, they might be attacked by tricky algorithms or be used by bad people to do things like write codes for cyber attacks or send phishing emails. We need to be careful about these issues, since AI systems will soon be closely connected with digital information systems. Unlike databases or search engines that give consistent results, the content they create is uncertain. This can cause problems for digital systems. That's why the government has made this rule to guide how companies develop things and make sure the content is safe, positive, and the technology can be trusted and controlled.
In the meantime, the European Union is also making steady progress with its Artificial Intelligence Act. The draft proposals have now advanced to the last stages of closed-door negotiations among EU lawmakers. The act, as proposed, includes prohibitions on the utilization of facial recognition and emotion recognition systems in public areas. Lawmakers have also expressed their rejection of predictive policing algorithms designed to identify potential offenders through the analysis of personal information. It is anticipated that this act will be ratified as legislation within the current year and enacted within a 2-year time frame. In the meantime, official task forces have been established by the United States, United Kingdom, and Russia to collaboratively develop regulatory frameworks. And amid China's ongoing endeavors to enhance regulations in the artificial intelligence sector, I engaged in a discussion with Piero Scaruffi, who is the founder of the Silicon Valley Artificial Intelligence Research Institute. And we delved into the complexities of artificial intelligence, examining its potentials and limitations. Take a listen.
So every technology can be misused. And the danger of this one is probably that it produces such credible text. It really looks like it's being written by professionals. So in a sense, that's the danger.
If ChatGPT could have a superpower, what would it be?
To mislead people.
To mislead people.
Yeah, that would be the scary thing where at the beginning I used the word miracle. It's not a miracle, but it's a mystery at least. Why GPT can produce such good sentences, good English sentences. It's a little bit of a mystery. It's like we pushed the machine to give an answer, and the machine, because it's under pressure, then it comes up with this beautiful English, but it contains mistakes or it invents stories or so on.
What do you think are some of the either the potential or maybe limitations that lies in the real world for the development of AI?
Yeah, that's a very important question, because so AI risks following the path of other scientific research that sometimes keeps going in the same direction without realizing maybe we reached the limit. For example, medical applications have been the big promise of AI. That's something that would be very useful. It will have a very important impact. But people are having doubts about what you can do with deep learning, because in medicine, a mistake is very serious. It's not just something you laugh about. So it's a very good question. It's possible that deep learning is probably not the end of the story. At some point, somebody will come up, in my opinion, with a new kind of AI that will probably solve some of the limitations.
And the advancements of AI can now create your duplicate in the digital world. This is what is known as a digital avatar or digital human. Our reporter Chen Yilin took a personal experience on this latest technology and explored how it is changing our daily lives.
Today, we're going to create a digital avatar. Well, it's not the avatar from James Cameron's science fiction film, but the one that looks and moves just like me.
Hi, I'm Elaine. I'm happy to be hosting this video.
This is the real Elaine.
Okay, I cloned myself, kind of. You might wonder why. Well, the latest AI developments have made it really hard to distinguish between what's genuine and what's AI generated. And this phenomenon is not limited to images alone.
Hello, 大家好，我是一个数字。
The realm of AI-generated video and voice seems to have blurred this line even more.
This actually AI-generated, not real me.
No way. This technology is one of the latest releases from SenseTime, one of China's leading AI providers. I decided to try it myself to see if it's that good. The process, to my surprise, is easy. The company just recorded me speaking for a couple of minutes. Nice to meet you, Elaine. Now just type in anything, or you can let AI to create content itself. Generate. AI avatars are generated by training data into deep neural networks. I will leave Nina to explain the rest.
Yeah, only how your feature are learned from your own video. Before, the process would be really troublesome. Right now, what we do is that we have a big model of like thousands of people. That's how 5 minutes video can generate a lifelike digital avatar.
The improvements of accessibility now make the technology appealing to a mass market in live streaming. Not this kind, but with virtual hosts. During this year's June 18th shopping festival, live streaming with virtual hosts has increased nearly 400%.
Our virtual host has broadcast continuously for 20 days. They've already sold 1 million yuan worth of hotel coupons within 1 month.
However, as avatars become more lifelike, digital forgeries like deepfakes could pose a real threat.
The misuse of such technology may cause misinformation, infringe portrait rights, and personal privacy. China has put in place 2 regulations to set the bottom line. The country's first regulations regarding deepfake technology applications came into effect in January this year. And the latest regulations managing generative AI services takes effect on August 15th.
AI developers are also taking measures to prevent the technology from being misused.
Authorization process, deepfake detection process, and watermarking process are the 3 key steps for us to preventing taken by other people.
Industry reports predict that China's virtual avatar market will reach nearly $40 billion by 2030. So, where is this technology leading us? Having a digital twin, it can be both a great helper and a challenger to our jobs. And a heads up to everyone, don't believe in everything you see, no matter how real it looks. Chen Ling, CGTN, Shanghai.
And let's move on to some other business headlines that we're tracking at the hour. China is positioned to potentially surpass Japan as the world's largest car exporter by the end of the year. That is according to a report from credit ratings agency Moody's. The surging outbound shipments has been attributed to a growing demand for electric vehicles in international markets. In the meantime, an analyst from Fitch, another prominent ratings agency, has issued a cautionary note about the potential downgrade of numerous U.S. banks. And this follows Moody's recent downgrading of 10 small and mid-sized banks and their warning regarding a similar action for another 17 lenders. And over in Russia, the central bank has executed a substantial 350 basis point increase in interest rates to 12% during an extraordinary meeting held on Tuesday. That decision aims to counteract the rapid depreciation of the country's currency, which had nearly reached 102 against the US dollar the previous day. And with that, I'm closing out this edition of Global Business here on CGTN. Thanks for being with us. I'm Lily Lu in Beijing. Till next time, bye for now.